Hello and welcome. Today we'll be going through the next poem in my book called Maybe Someday, Maybe Someday, which, if you're new here, is a collection of poetry that I wrote when I was 17 and 18 years old and just really helped me through that time, which was a particularly tough time in my life, and really helped me to be able to have this way to express myself and make sense of these things I was going through and just to cope with it all and get to a much better, happier, healthier place with myself. So if you're interested in seeing more from this after you see this video, go ahead and subscribe to see future uploads. And I've got a playlist already on my channel and all the previous videos where you can see all the previous poems we've gone through in this book. The playlist is called Maybe Someday, just like the book. And yeah, all the videos of those are already up. And if you're really interested in enjoying these poems that I wrote, you can even go down to the description and there are links to buy this book. And also my second and most recent book called I Love Him at Last. So yeah, anyway, today we will be going through my poem called Archipelago. This is a poem that I wrote during my final semester of high school, kind of anticipating all those things that would be coming afterward as I moved on to college and working and adult life and all that stuff. I was worried about where I'd be going and everything, but even more so, I was worried about all the things that I'd be leaving behind. My home, the people I care about most, and so on. I was worried about how it would all sort of continue on without me and how much could change in this time. When I take my piece out of the puzzle, will it still fit in when I return? But yeah, as usual, I will talk a bit more about what this poem exactly means to me and that story behind it and everything afterwards. But first, we'll just go straight into Archipelago. I'll read out the poem to you. You can hear and see the whole thing. And then I'd invite you to share any of your own thoughts as I go through. See if there are any specific lines or ideas or anything like that that stick out to you and can connect with you in some way. And of course, if anything does, go ahead and share that down in the comments. So here is Archipelago. We're a cluster of islands in a big body of life. In the center, you and I stand, from the depths of the sea up to the sunlight. Surrounded by all of our family and friends, it all feels just right. As connections are made, the earth's crust it bends, change the view overnight. But if I have to stray, as my currents command, I'm worried that you will not stay. But they say love never ends, so I guess it will all be okay. I trust things will be fine when I leave the archipelago, but still, I just can't let go. 'Cause when I'm gone, I will never know how the islands reshape until I get home. As my tectonic plates start to shift, I know I'll return. In reality, it won't be too long, but I know well a lot can happen in that time. New islands will emerge, some sink down in the sea, some may collide and come together, forming new, bigger land. Others may shift and separate over time, but will my island still fit in right where it did before? I've grown so used to this place, the rocky grounds, the sunlight. I lay here in your fields, and it holds me through the night. All the flowers and trees that are filling my sight. I've grown so close to this place, leaving doesn't feel right. But maybe I've just been standing on the beach, only coming inland in rare times of chance, as if by some miracle your coastline had been breached, and I gladly embrace all the kindness it grants. I feel so safe here with your sandy shores in reach. Lured into your land, have I been in a trance. Archipelago, I just can't let go. I guess I don't know if we'll be as I hope when I have to go from this place that's home, the archipelago. The architecture of my soul is crumbling at the core. My foundation is still sturdy, but I lose balance as I keep building on more. The landscape of my being, consumed by all the things I'm feeling. When I can't see the things I'm seeing, is when I feel I've lost the meaning. Oh, I'm sinking, I'm sinking. My trees go up in flames, my rocks start to crumble, the skies don't look the same, and in come the rain and thunder. Wash over my lands, strike my barren fields, show me all the power that this wild storm yields. But I'm just anticipating the storm, in fear of what could lie ahead. I feel these tropical waters turning colder as more time passes by. Will I return and just find an ocean? A wild, wild ocean? I thought you'd be here with me in this ocean, but you left me in wild, wild motion. When I return to our waters, will your islands still be there? Or will the plates of earth have shifted and I'm stuck here stranded in the sea? When my corals have lost their colors, will the waters still be fair? I know that over time we have both drifted, and I hope you'll still be there for me. I just can't let go. I just can't let go. Archipelago, archipelago. But I guess that maybe that's just how it goes. Land reshapes and disappears. But I'll return to the archipelago, and I'll hope that you're still here. So that was Archipelago, and of course I hoped you enjoyed it, and of course, as I said before too, if there was anything that stood out to you within that poem or could connect with you in any way, you're of course more than welcome to share that down in the comments. It's always really interesting and rewarding for me to see how my own words can connect with other people who hear them or read them or whatever. Now, as I said earlier, we will get into a bit more of the story and everything behind this poem and what it truly means to me a bit more in depth. Before I read it, of course, I talked about a little bit how this was a poem I wrote kind of anticipating all the changes and everything that would be coming in my life as I graduated from high school and moved on to college and all this other stuff in my future, and just worrying about leaving sort of my childhood and my hometown and family and friends and all of this kind of behind in a way, and worrying about how all this stuff would change. And also I was really struggling with this pressure of having to have a certain direction in life and everything, because of course when you graduate from high school, everyone wants to know like what you're doing next, what you'll be studying in college, and what careers you'll be doing, and just all these specific plans for your future. But honestly, I just didn't have a whole lot of direction with myself at the time, partially because, as I said, this was a time when I was really struggling with a lot of personal things, and it was kind of hard to think about exactly where I wanted to take the rest of my life when I was still trying to figure out and work out my present life and my past and everything. But also at the same time, that was kind of added to by the fact that I had like several dreams that I wanted to pursue. It wasn't like I just had one specific set path for myself that I wanted to like go all in with. I had a lot of dreams and goals for myself in the future, but I often kind of felt that they could never really happen and was a little bit overwhelmed with like self-doubt and stuff, that I never really had the true faith in myself at the time to pursue these dreams. And I also had a lot of people at the time kind of telling me what they believed my direction should be and what their dreams for me were. And because I struggled a lot with self-doubt and everything at the time, I often followed more of what people told me I should do than what I truly felt like I should do myself. I often let people tell me who I should be instead of following my own desires for myself, which just would take me even farther from where I wanted to be and bring me more off track from my own goals and everything. But despite all that, I wanted to find my direction and to start following my dreams. And I knew that that would come at a cost, so I wrote Archipelago. I needed a way to kind of work through and express all these things that I was struggling with at the time. I needed to express and work through all of these hopes and fears that I was like so overwhelmed with at the time. During this time in my life, I would often be thinking about these sort of worst case scenarios for myself, and would often be so weighed down and upset by these things, even though none of them had actually happened. I got like so in my head with it all that I kind of got trapped within this clouded fantasy of the like worst possible outcomes for myself, and was kind of consumed by these greatest fears of mine at the time. So a lot of the poem is me kind of expressing those fears I had in that mental place I was stuck in at the time. And I think a couple lines within the poem that kind of express this idea and connect with those things I was just talking about is where it says, "But I'm just anticipating the storm in fear of what could lie ahead." There's a song that I listened to a lot during that time and still really love that I think also kind of connects to this in a way. And it's Thoughts by Sasha Alex Sloan, where she says, "I'm scared they're all laughing, so I make the joke first. If I beat them to the punchline, then I can't get hurt." I think as I was writing this, I was kind of trying to, in a way, subconsciously now as I look back on it, I was sort of trying to protect myself in a way by creating these worst case scenarios, because I think with expectations, the truth often ends up sort of falling short of our expectations. And we normally think of that with like positives, like if you have way too high of expectations about something, it's often gonna fall short and you might end up being disappointed. But I think at this time with all this, I was sort of trying to set overly negative expectations. So then when the truth finally came, it wouldn't be quite as bad as I had expected. And even if it did end up being bad, it would still kind of feel like a relief in a way, because it's nowhere near as bad as I had played it up to be in my own mind. And so looking back now, I feel like in a way I kind of wrote this as a bit of a self-defense. In my own mind, I was already far away from home, and my friends had all forgotten about me, and my family had just moved on with life without me, and my girlfriend had left me and found someone new, and my hometown had now become like a foreign place and just wasn't truly my home anymore. But that's just like how I imagined it in my mind at the time, because yeah, I was so scared of that becoming the truth. But then toward the end of the poem, I say, "When I return to our waters, will your islands still be there? Or will the plates of earth have shifted, and I'm stuck here stranded in the sea? When my corals have lost their colors, will the waters still be fair? I know that over time we have both drifted, and I hope you'll still be there for me." Still having that fear and doubt and worry, but trying to have some hope that despite the change that will surely occur, it will all work out in the end. And then finally, in the end, I say, "But I guess that maybe that's just how it goes. Land reshapes and disappears. But I'll return to the archipelago, and I'll hope that you're still here." Starting to find some acceptance and trust that things will work out the way they're meant to, no matter how they happen. And again, trying to remain hopeful that everyone will still be there for me when I come back, and that it won't go as badly as I've been anticipating all this time. As I often do with my writing, I use it to kind of get the negative things within me out onto the surface so I can like relieve myself of this and kind of have it in front of me as something I can kind of work with and work through more effectively. And then by doing that, I come to a better place of understanding with it all. And so then in the end, like I usually try to do with my poems, leave off on a hopeful note, starting to kind of see a way past this obstacle I'm dealing with and bring myself a bit more peace with it all. And so I hope you get that from this poem. And of course, again, I hope that you've enjoyed this poem. And I mean, if you're still here at this point in the video, firstly, I mean, I just greatly appreciate you for being here and for supporting me and the channel and this poetry and everything. But yeah, also I mean, if you are still here, that shows that you probably are enjoying this in some way, and I would greatly appreciate it too if you would like the video or even subscribe or check out my other videos and everything. And next time we'll be going through my poem called Running in the Night. So I hope you'll stick around, and I hope to see you there next time for that one. But yeah, anyway, thanks again for watching, and just remember, we're all broken and we're just arranging the pieces. Thank you.